We're back with more Stan Brother? What? It's almost as if we're doing Stan Brother this season.
Gag.
Gooped, gagged, and betribbled on this occasion. But hello, and hi. Welcome to the Cup, the currently unnamed podcast. You're good. Where we put the real and the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay, I am drinking a Baja Blast because my roommate brought me a Baja Blast in between recordings, and I, for one, am very thankful.
I'm jealous.
Well, hello. And I am Lana.
She is Lana, our resident evil diva, and she's here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea. Because she knows she loves some tea. Purr. So if you have some tea, you know what to do. Hit her up.
Boom.
Yeah, get your mug too. Why not? I don't care. Because nobody cares about me in this home. So background noise be done. So it is what it is.
I'm Austin. Hi everyone. I actually do have a drink today. It's the Celsius Fantasy Vibe Mandarin Marshmallow. So yeah, getting my energy in.
Very cute, very lovely, wonderful, and fantastic. We're so excited here. We are diving into episode 3 of Stan Brother 7 here with our double evictees, Kayla and Casey. Hello, divas.
Hi.
We're so excited.
Let me just jump in. I'm jumping in. I'm jumping in right off the top because I'm mad.
Please do. Okay.
I'm jumping in right now. I'm mad. And you know who I'm mad at? I'm looking at you, Andrew. I'm looking at you. I'm mad at you.
Stare right at him.
I'm coming for you. What I'm not going to sit here and do is you go sit here and be like, yeah, I nominated all women. So what? What be it? So what is the problem is you did it and you was just like, they ain't talk to me. Did you talk to them? Did you try to talk to them? Did you reach out to talk to them? Or you just waited for somebody to come talk to you? I think you waited. I don't know. I'm just saying. But don't dominate these beautiful queens and then say, so what? So what? So what? Oh no, I have a problem with that. I'm mad. I don't like it at all. And Andrew, I was rooting for you. I was really rooting for you. I thought you were gonna be one of the good ones. But then you said, so what? And I was like, oh, you gonna take that stance? All right. I'll see you soon.
Yeah. The thing is, if we had actually talked before the game, like we realized after the game we're from like the same hometown. And we would have been like best friends. Like now we're talking like we want to meet up in Philly and like go hang out. And yeah, I'm like, oh, maybe I should pre-gamed, and then he wouldn't have done that.
Well, that was going to be my first question to you both, because pre-gaming ended up being a lot of the discussion of this episode, which I have to say, Bestie Austin, you did tell us this episode was going to be juicy. It did not disappoint. I was thrilled with this episode. Not thrilled with the outcome because I would have liked to see both of you make jury. Let me make that clear. But it was a very, very juicy episode. But I want to talk about the pre-gaming because it did end up coming up a lot in this episode. Obviously, Casey, you being lumped in with the Austin's IRLs, despite never having met Austin and just so happened to have been going to the same university as Austin. And Kayla, on the flip side of that, being a Stan Brother alum, knowing how the game is, but as you said in the episode, I've got a life outside of this. So I want to hear from you both. What was the moment you realized in the game that there might have been pre-gaming going on, and that was ultimately going to pretty much not give you a chance to do well in the game?
I think the moment I figured it out, obviously, is when I'm like in one of the rooms and they're like, Kayla, bestie, like you need to talk to Andrew. Like I think he's gonna put you up. And I was like, it was crazy because I already had a feeling like I'm probably going up just because. And it's because I didn't talk to Andrew and I'm not a part of this like I don't want to say new generation of Big Brother Twitter, but like this is not my
I would
Big Brother
say
Twitter. This is
it's
not who I would play with. So that's why
it's
I'm like,
not mine either.
that's why I'm like, I don't know any of these people. Like, I know Pranav, like, I know of him, but like, that's it. Like, anybody else, I was like, I don't know who these people are. So when they're like, you're about to go up, and I was like, okay, like, maybe we can make it work. Maybe we can make it work. But then, like, he put up me, Rachel, and like everybody in our alliance, the alliance that I knew of, and we're like, oh, whatever. And I have never won a competition, and any of the games that I played, I wasn't even gonna try. I was like, I know that's not the way I'm going to get beat. So I was like, whatever, fine. I'm on the blog. And then I just hate the excuse, you didn't talk to me. I think that's the worst excuse ever. It's just really lazy. It's really lazy. There's obviously something more going on. And I don't know. It's just like, it just really, it takes me off because I'm sorry that I didn't talk to you, but also like, you're going to get out a person that you don't think is very pivotal to the game right before jury for what? No reason.
Yeah.
And there was more stuff brewing in the background than I was ever aware of. So I never really stood a chance. And now that I see that, it's not better, but it just makes me, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to like text every single person back and forth, try to get to know these people. I don't care that much. I don't. So if that means I'm going to get eliminated every time there's a triple or a double, then so be it.
Right.
No, I'm with you. I realized obviously in the first week when they had the first HOH competition and everyone except Denise said that they would have nominated me. And I was so shocked when that happened because in my head I was like, what are they basing that off of? Because I haven't talked really in the game yet. Like, we just started the game, so how come like 4 people would all pick me? And then when we got into the breakout rooms and talk, they all were like, oh, we just like didn't talk before the game, so like, you know, it's not that I have anything against you, but I talked to everyone else. And then that's when I was like, oh fuck, like I guess that was important. Like I obviously haven't played one of these games before, so I just assumed that we would have more time during the game to like have breaks to talk to each other, get to know each other, make alliances. But I quickly realized that there was really no time for that. It was very like one right after another, like competition, nominations, like quick campaign, and then back to, you know, the next thing, like on and on. So there was really not downtime to get to know people and have full conversations. And because of that, I was like, I quickly realized that if you hadn't pre-gamed, you really did not have a good chance at being invited into alliances, especially because people didn't trust me because they thought I was Austin in real life, even though I wasn't. Then they just like wrote me off and didn't try and talk to me or invite me into alliances, and they assumed that like I was just off with other people. So between not pre-gaming and people assuming that, I just like didn't really have a chance because no one besides Pickles was really with me, which I had formed an alliance with Pickles like immediately when the game started, purely because he had a diary room background on the Zoom. And I thought that was so funny. And he reminded me of Corey from last season of Big Brother, season like 25. So I was like, good
wrong.
vibes. Yeah, I was like, good vibes. And the name Pickles. So I actually like private messaged him on the Zoom, and it was like, I love your background. And he was just like, Slay, I love you. And I was like, you want to align? And he was like, yeah. So that's how we aligned. And then that's kind of all I had. So we stayed in communication throughout the game, and we talked about forming bigger alliances. But I just like did not know how to use Twitter because I just downloaded Twitter for the game. So I was trying to make a group chat at one point to make an alliance, and I could not figure out how to make a group chat on Twitter. And I was trying to include Pranav and Andrew in the alliance, and it was right before they started fighting. And because I thought they were close and they were both nice to me, it was going to be me, Pickles, Pranav, Andrew, who else? It was, I think, Jack and Jeremy. And we were gonna like Pickles and I were talking about that because they were all giving us like good vibes at the time. And then Pickles wanted me to make the alliance, I guess because Pickles wanted to lay low more, and I was fine with that. Pickles was very much using me as a shield throughout the game, and I was like, that's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was trying to message them, and then literally right when I figured it out and was about to like, I was typing a message, Pranav and Andrew started going at each other. And also it wasn't just that. Then Andrew nominated me. And I was like, oh, I guess I shouldn't invite you in an alliance now because you nominated me.
Maybe I don't want to be aligned with you now because you put me out.
Yeah, because right before that, he had been, I think he was one of the people who said he would have nominated me. And then he was very sweet explaining it to me and was like, oh, we just hadn't talked before the game, so that's why I said that. Like, I'm really sorry. You seem so nice. And like, we talked a little bit.
He's just being he's being a coward. First of all,
and
it's because before, the night before, we're all on Zoom, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I led the charge. I said that we should get all the IRLs out, and we had to like investigate on who the IRLs were. And Casey, yours just looks so. I just made this to play Big Brother, so I was just like, okay, this is one. This has to be one because you don't know how to use Twitter. All the people that said message me on Instagram, I'm like, I'm not about to message people. That's too many platforms. One platform, right? Like, I'm not about to do that. So I only message people on Twitter, and so that's why it was Denise, you, and I think Zena, and we were just like, those are the. I said, if we want to do like the easy, like pick like just 1, 2, 3 before a jury, we could just get all the IRLs out. And everybody's like, yeah, let's do that. So that's probably why he put your name, because everybody else agreed as well. So my bad on that one.
Kayla led to everyone's downfall, including her own. No, I'm kidding.
Exactly, yeah.
I get why people thought that, but I think, especially after Denise and Kenzel left, it should have been kind of clear that I didn't really have anyone and wasn't like an immediate threat that they needed to get out. And I think that it would have been smart for someone to notice like she's alone, she like has a decent social game but isn't closely aligned with anyone and could be pulled into something because she doesn't have anyone right now. And
I said that on the last episode about Kenzel, and I was like, y'all couldn't scoop up once Denise was gone. The smart players, they are floundering. They are alone. We as the veterans who know this game, they don't know nothing about this game. We scoop them up. We get their loyalty. They gonna do whatever we say do because they gonna think we know what we're talking about, and they gonna follow my lead. And I'll be like, trust me, I got you. And then we just start building an army around us to take out the more established players. Like I was like, are we not thinking long term, or are we just thinking right now? This moment, out the IRLs. I would have let, especially if y'all go get rid of Kenzel. Fine, get rid of Kenzel. Casey is by herself completely. I would have been like, you are the last person in our alliance, girl. Come on in here. Come on, girl. We've been looking at you. We've been checking you out. We've been seeing how you play this game. You are a smart player. Come on inside. We got this group that's gonna look after you. She ain't going nowhere after that. She gonna take any deal she has because she has nobody else. And she would have took that deal and she would have stuck. I was like, the bigger picture. I was screaming. I said that last week. I was screaming, and I will say it again. But
I think it's because
also this is why I hate pregame games. I refuse to play pregame games because I can't do it. Like you say, Kayla, I have other things to do. I have a life. I have things to do, but I can't spend all my time talking on Twitter and back and forth DMs at 3 o'clock in the morning or getting those Zoom calls all night long. I'm old and I'm tired, so I don't have time for this. So I hate pregame games, but y'all continue to talk. That was my piece.
I think it's just because I put so much trust in my alliance. I'm not even gonna lie. I trusted them with everything. So that's why I was like, yeah, let's just like stick with the plan. Like we can do that. And it seemed like they were doing that. I don't think that they thought Andrew was gonna put all like 3 of us up at one time. So I guess when it happened, they kind of were just like, okay, who's more in the alliance? And obviously it wasn't me. So
Yeah.
I was on the bottom of the totem pole. I kind of figured, but not really. But it is what it is. Like I wasn't too hurt. It was funny when Jordan put like the saving Pranav in the fucking he like said it out loud. And that was funny. And I was like, dude, please.
Yeah, he did do that.
All of the headlines in confessionals in this episode too, Austin, I was just like, this whole thing was so funny. Like every cutaway, I was just like, I'm living for this. Again, 3 episodes in a row, editing on point, and I'm loving it. But yes, so Austin unfortunately puts up both of you plus Rachel.
Not you saying Austin.
Andrew did
Austin
it.
did it. Austin
You're
did it.
You're getting Nicole.
I'm getting my white twins confused again. I'm so sorry, Austin. Andrew. Anyway. 3 fabulous women go up on the block, Andrew. I'm looking at you sideways as well. Rachel is able to win the veto, though. And this is where Andrew attempts to not backdoor, because it wouldn't have been a backdoor, but puts Pranava out of almost nowhere. Now, I want to ask Kayla. Yeah, how like what was the thought process? Did you think you had a chance to stay in that exact moment? What was the thought process after Pranav goes up as the replacement?
Well, I was like, fuck. I was like, well, because again, I had so much trust. I was like, I'm not going to campaign. And then I think Pranav was campaigning, and I was like, hold on, wait. I just had a feeling that he was, and I was like, wait, you guys can keep me. I didn't. Andrew's made it seem like he was like, well, they had to have known that I wanted Pranav out. I was like, obviously they did it because I only got 1 vote to save me. So either you didn't tell your alliance what to do, or the alliance didn't trust you. So I also think they just wanted an easy week. So they were just like, whatever, we'll just keep him. I don't know why, because I can't win a comp to save my life, but whatever.
Because you're so experienced with Stan Brother, Kayla. That's why. You have so much Stan Brother experience, of course.
Yeah, no, and that's why I don't even try I hate puzzles. I can't do it that fast. My internet's not as fast, so I'm always late to the quick reply ones.
Relatable, because I have the same problem.
So it's not even worth it. I'm just like, I can try, but I'm not gonna beat myself up if I lose a comp. And that's why I know my social game is very confrontational. It used to be very confrontational, in your face, keep me because I'll be your shield. And I kind of didn't really want to play like that because it's a lot. It's a lot to do. And I thought maybe I could just be calm and I could float, to at least final 5 where we would duke it out and whatever. Maybe I could win against 5 people versus 13 or 12. But I mean, I tried my best, but I wasn't gonna beg for them to keep me. That's just too much.
Totally.
I have very different opinions on what happened, at the time that it happened versus watching it back now, with the context. Because obviously, when everything was happening during the game, I was on the outside of all the alliances. I didn't know exactly who was aligned with who, and why certain moves were as big as they were. I didn't know about their big alliance, and that was a huge betrayal that he put Pranav up. And so I didn't know about that. I thought there was just maybe some beef with Andrew and Pranav, but I didn't know he was breaking the whole alliance. So I kind of thought at the time that I didn't know whose side people would be on. I didn't know if they'd be on Andrew's side or Pranav's side. And I was under the assumption, because I was alone, and also I had no idea until I watched the game now that people thought I was Austin's in real life. I did not know that throughout the whole game. I was so shocked, like, watching it now, that people thought that. So I didn't think that anyone had a reason to be targeting me. Like, I was like, clearly I'm alone. They don't know about my thing with pickles. They don't think I've really talked to anyone. So I'm not a threat. And I thought that I was just like, you know, I had just been put on the block before. I thought I'm a pawn. Like, I thought, you know, I'm just, you know, I'm the girl who gets put on the block. Usually it's like that kind of person who gets put on the block. Like, okay, they're likable. They haven't done like that much, but no one's going to vote them out against a big target. So I thought Pranav could be a big target, and that Andrew was making some good points when they were going at it with each other. So I thought at the time, because of all that, that I had a chance to stay, but watching it back now, obviously, and knowing everything that I know now, knowing people were targeting me because of what they assumed about me, knowing that it was like a huge betrayal on Andrew's part to put up Pranav, and then people felt really bad for Pranav because that seemed like a villainous move on Andrew's part. So that, I think, helped Pranav at that point and made him look like, you know, kind of a sympathetic character. Like, you know, Andrew attacked him and shouldn't have gone after him, and he didn't do anything wrong. So people wanted to protect Pranav. And honestly, like, throughout the game, there were a few people who did message me, and Pranav was one of them. And especially when I had been on the block week 2, he had sent me very sweet messages, assured me that he was going to like keep me, and was one of the people who was more so trying to keep me in the loop, which is, you know, that says a lot about his social game. But yeah, especially watching it back now, like, if I was in everyone else's position, especially if I was in that alliance that Andrew is breaking up, I would have voted probably to save Pranav, just because I would have felt like it wasn't right for Andrew to nominate him. Even though I think it also just sucked with the double eviction situation. It's like you have to save someone.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are closely aligned with someone, you really like them, you don't think that they should have been nominated, you're going to want to save them over 2 people who you don't really have that close of a tie to. So even though strategically we weren't as much of a threat as Pranav at that point, which is clear by how many people saved him, I think it makes a lot of sense that people voted to save Pranav. I also want to say people on Twitter have been hating on Pranav, and fuck anyone who's been hating on Pranav. I love him so much, and he's so nice. And also anyone who's hating on anyone in the cast is dumb, because everyone's so nice. After the game, like, people were just like playing to say for the drama, to have fun. Like, it's Big Brother. We all just like the game, and we're fans of the game, and like, we're all getting along now. Like, it's not a big deal. So I just wanted to say that, because people are taking it so seriously on Twitter and being like so mean to people.
Oh, so, no, they always do like the think pieces. It's been a thing. They love the think pieces.
I hate it.
But then they get so shocked, like, that I comment. I'm like, hey, Coaster here, the one that you called like that. It's not really a big deal. What's up?
So
it's
crazy. It's crazy because, like, it's like watching Big Brother. In the moment, you get so invested in watching what you all are doing, and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. So the first thing for some people is, I can't believe he said that. He did that. And I'm like, hold on. This is for fun. None of these people are getting paid for anything. It's not millions of dollars at stake here. It's just a little game that they playing. So calm your little Twitter fingers down. Take a breath. go get some air, and then come back and think about what you want to say. Be like,
Yeah.
because honestly, doing these interviews, I came in for Nav a little bit. I sure did, and I'm still. When he gets here, I will let him know the energy he had for Xena was unnecessary and uncalled for. But other than that, Pranav's a lovely person. He actually sent me a DM at the beginning of the game. Was like, I appreciate you all covering the show. So I think Pranav is a lovely person. But is he gonna get some energy when he get here? Absolutely, because you don't talk to Xena like that. But that's just a personal thing for me.
And the way that we do things here is always like, we're treating this like we treat any other show that we cover. We're talking about you all as characters on this show, and it doesn't reflect the people that you are. Because I can tell all of y'all are fabulous, wonderful people. Like, I can tell both of you are absolutely fabulous. I need to go to the Phoenix Zoo with Casey. Like, I know that for sure. But what we're here to do is talk about the produced episode that we're watching. And what we're watching are you all as these characters on this show. And so it would be weird for us not to treat it that way. Now, did I judge Pranav in our cast assessment based on a 2-minute clip that I saw of him? Absolutely, I did. But that's the character that I'm seeing of Pranav, and it doesn't reflect Pranav himself. Is he going to get some smoke from me as well about the way he treated Xena? Yes. But that's just what happened in the game. And that has nothing to do with who he is as a real person or any part of his character in real life. It's just the character that he is playing right now.
I gotta say, I think that's like such a funny way to look at it because I realize watching it now, especially like Andrew, especially I think, and Pranav and like other people are really playing a character, and I think it's so fun, and it's so like it adds to the drama of the game. But I didn't even consider to do that. I was just like, you know, talking. I didn't realize people were like being characters for the show.
Casey, that's because you're so pure. You're just so like, I'm just here to have a good time. You are about vibes. We got that from your intro video. You are just here for vibes. And I was like, you know what? This girl is gonna chill. She not gonna give nobody no drama. I don't know how, and I said on the cast, I don't know how far she's gonna go, but she just go have a chill time while she's doing it. And most of the time you look like you were so annoyed. Like, I don't even know why I'm here playing this game. I am really ready to just
what did I sign up for?
Like, why am I here? But in the way that I was like, I love it. I enjoyed it. Taylor, you look like you were like, I'm here to play the game. I want to play the game. But these people are really starting to get on my nerves because all this stuff that they trying to do, it's a bit much. I felt like to you it was just a bit too much. Like, this is too much for me. I'm sick of it. But I want to play.
Yeah, it's just Austin had a whole bunch of like twists that it was hard to like just like, you know, do the no offense. I mean, like I get why. It's just like it was hard to just, you know, get in there. So I was just like, well, crap. Because I know I can't win a comp, so I just have to like look it out, you know?
Right.
I want to say a few things. One, just as far as me looking like annoyed and like I didn't want to be there, I felt bad, but like I was getting such a headache throughout the show, and it was so much and fast paced, and we didn't take a break that by the end, especially, I was like, please vote me out. I was like, I don't want to be here. And like, because it went on for hours. Like, I saw them still messaging in the group chat, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this anymore. The only reason I actually would have wanted to stay just past the week I did was so that I could make jury, so that if Pickles was final 2, I could have voted for Pickles to win. And that's like all I really wanted. I was like, I don't really want to keep playing that much. Another point I wanted to say, though, with the competitions, I wish that you could kind of see the competitions more in the show and how they played out. But because I think they were pretty interesting. But I was like, especially the one with the emojis, I think it was the veto the second week that was the one that I was nominated. I was really close to winning that. And that one was so hard and it was so fun. But I was like having such a good time with the competitions, and I was like pretty close to a few of them. And I I wish for that sake that I was like feeling well enough to stay in for longer to have the chance to win a competition, because people were saying like I wasn't doing much, but I was like they didn't see I was very close to winning a lot of competitions, and also they just didn't try and talk to me, and how can I do a lot when they aren't trying to talk to me? But yeah,
it's a circumstantial sort of thing. I absolutely agree with that for sure. But
okay, so I'm sorry. Something was said before we got on air, and it's been nagging me, and I really want to know. So, sabotage was mentioned, and I was like, I wanted to wait to the perfect moment to bring this up, and I feel like this is now. So, I need Casey and Kayla. I need you both to expound on this sabotage situation that I don't know if I just missed it, but I need to know what this sabotage was about.
Casey, you go first.
Yeah, you must have missed it because it was in the episode.
Yeah,
I think okay.
Episode.
Yeah, was it? I think it was the HOH competition for the third week. Is that it? Right after it was right after I was on the block, but I didn't go home. Denise went, or oh my god, I can't even remember. Denise went home, yeah. And then it was the next HOH. Right when the competition started, like literally right when Austin was like, okay, go, Kayla was like, wait, Casey.
I remember now.
And went on for an entire minute, like, oh no, I don't think your messages are opening. And in my head, I'm like, I'm waiting for a gap in her sentence so I can say, hey, the competition started, right? But she keeps going, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, why is this the timing? I was like, and the competition started, so I'm like panicking in the back of my head, and I didn't know if you were sabotaging me. I was more just like annoyed. I was like, why? I was like, girl, what? But then watching it back when it cuts to you being like, yeah, I sabotaged her, I was dying. I was like,
one of my favorite confessionals that we've seen the entire show so far, where you were just to camera. I absolutely did try to sabotage her. Kayla,
absolutely did. Kayla, explain yourself.
Okay, I'm not even gonna lie. Austin just texted me and said, you should say this. And I didn't know what context. I was like, okay. And then I'm like, so that's what I said.
I was literally editing the episode, and I was like, this is such a funny segment, but I need a video from Kayla where she's like, and I was sabotaging her.
He just texted me because I didn't remember. Because the thing is, I genuinely was not trying to sabotage her. I genuinely was like, they were like, we can't add her, and I was like, Casey, like, you need to unlock your thing so we can message you.
No, there was no Kayla content for that whole episode, and I was like, I need something. I need something else from Kayla to really give her a moment before she gets evicted. And I was like, she literally talked to Casey during the HOH for a whole minute, distracting her, and I was like, this is too good.
No, and it's because Casey, you said you looked annoyed, but that was your face the whole time, so I just thought I thought it was normal. So you're like, because you were like, you had Austin had to explain the comp to you a couple times because you're like, wait, sorry, what? Listen. And you're like, what? Sorry, and I'm like,
I did cut that out.
Yeah, you cut that out. That was not at all because I was high. I was having so many audio issues with my laptop, and it was only when Austin was talking, not anyone else. So whenever you would explain the competitions, I could I was holding my ear up to the speaker, trying to hear you. So that's why I was asking, but it's not because I was high. Just to clarify,
I did cut that out, but some people did.
Thank you.
Some people did put that in some
it wasn't because of that.
They kept every competition. Casey would be like, "Sorry, can you repeat that?" Every time.
So it'd be and everyone's like, "She is high as fuck right now."
No, I felt bad. I swear, I could not hear you for shit, and it was not at all because of that.
The fellow stoner. as a fellow
I would
stoner,
admit
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
I know how it is, and I understand you, and I get it. Like, I understand it. And as someone who has had
Yeah.
tech issues in games before, I also get it. Like, I understand
So
fully the
yeah, it was like a
situation.
list of things. We thought Casey was an IRL and that she didn't know how to play Big Brother at all, or like, because like the games are very similar. Big Brother games, like it's like there's
Mhm.
5 of them and they just changed like the format and stuff. So like Austin just explaining the game the first time, like I was like, oh, I played this game before, but a little different. But I
Yeah.
get why it can be confusing the first time because it is like just like what the one game he explained was like find this. I don't know. I get how it's confusing. And you looked high. You kept asking like even the first like time Austin just like said something like, I'm sorry, what? What did you say? And you're like, hold on. She's like, can you type it? And
The universe was conspiring against Casey on this occasion in
was.
every aspect of
Absolutely.
this game.
Literally.
yeah, and like you just looked high. Like you would. It was just like everyone's like,
Yeah.
it was
No.
like.
And honestly, Pickles is so real for being like, I love this girl and how she's acting right now and aligning with me. Because everyone else was just like, no, fuck that. But Pickles was so nice to me during the game.
So like
So
when I said like Casey like can you check your DMs? I didn't know people started. Like I was also like dumb.
okay.
So I didn't know people started already.
Okay.
So I was like cuz June was like I can't figure out how to add Casey and I was like she probably like has her like it's probably like in them like additional messages or whatever. So that's why I said that. And when you said, "Oh, okay," like you just seemed like I didn't know you were annoyed. I just thought that was your regular face.
Oh, no.
So,
No,
so
I wasn't like trying to act annoyed, and like I knew at the time, like I didn't think you were sabotaging me, so I was just like, okay, but I
Yeah.
was like kind of panicking, like it started right, like the competition's going,
And that's why I said
Right.
I didn't know like we started. That's why I think I said that. I was like, I didn't even know that we started. Like, I'm so sorry. And I didn't.
Yeah.
Bestie, I'm looking at you now.
Yeah, it's production.
Bestie,
He rigged like he did that to me.
So this is what producing is going to be from Austin Ashford. It's like I need a moment to do drama.
I put my producer hat on. I think the only like 2 moments I've like fabricated so far was like that one Kayla clip because I literally did text her while I was editing it and I was like, Kayla, I need you to record this 8-second video for me really fast.
Yeah, and I was like, I thought he was talking about when like they're like, if you were one HOH, who would you put up? And we all said Casey, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that one. So that's what I thought it was.
Okay.
And that's when I was like, oh, he made me a liar.
So what he did was he fabricated this story on my name right now.
Exactly, he made me a liar.
But it was such a good scene. So
it was a great.
No.
It worked. It was the most perfect thing because it was like Casey was like, "Oh no, let me fix it," and he's like, "I don't think somebody's trying to sabotage me." And Casey's like, "I absolutely was trying to sabotage." I was like, "Oh, that made me do. That was okay. Okay, that was good."
It was too good.
Good.
Thank you. And then the only thing I would say I've also like fabricated is like the whole rare me, like show me stuff.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, it was really Rachel that started it. So I was just like, Jeremy, I'm gonna need you to feed into this a little bit because Rachel's doing it. So I was like, I need you to match her energy a bit.
I was gonna ask Austin as well when all of the Andrew Pranav situation was happening. In that moment, watching this in your game that you're producing, what were your thoughts? Were you like, this is the moment of the season? I'm so excited that I'm getting quality content. Like, talk us through your thought process in that moment because so good.
I knew it was gonna happen like as soon as Andrew won HOH because like they, especially Jordan, I would say, was texting me so much before the game started because he was so paranoid. So everything that he was paranoid about, he would just like rant to me via text message. So, and then Andrew was sending like, I think before the game even started, Andrew sent me like 25 voice memos talking about how much he hates Pranav, how mad he is at Pranav. So I was like, okay, I know what's gonna happen if he wins HOH. So I saw it coming. So that's why I'm not on camera during the whole fight, because I wanted like it just to be the cast, because I knew what was gonna happen. So yeah, I definitely knew it was gonna be like the big moment, especially because the first 3 weeks were a little drier with the strategy. It was just like very steamroll. So I was like, yeah, this is going to be like the turning point of the season. And it really is, because like once jury starts, it really is like a big divided alliance, because like it's the Mimi's Miracles, like the trio of like Jeremy, Tanoy, Pranav, and then it's kind of them versus like June, Jack, Jordan, Andrew. So it's like those 4 versus those 3 for like the rest of the season, pretty much. And then Rachel and Pickles and all of those people are also there. So they like play a factor as well. But yeah, it's definitely the turning point, because like the people that have been steamrolling the whole time are like now targeting each other. So yeah, it was really fun. And also Pranav just has a very villainous energy. Like he really owns that like characterization of himself. So I knew he was gonna want to like pop off and like cause good TV. So I knew it was coming. But, yeah.
Kayla, you in this moment during this fight, you offered another piece of gold for me that I was like, okay, absolutely, she is my kind of player, somebody who I enjoy watching. I don't know if I want to play against you, but I know I would like to watch you play, because Kayla was sitting there and Andrew and Pranav were going back and forth, and
she had the pencil. She was taking notes.
She's listening, she's looking, and Andrew's talking, and Pranav starts talking, and then Andrew says, "I've talked to a lot of people. I'm cool with a lot of people." And you were like who?
Like
name
who?
names. Like who? And I was like,
their names.
Hey, like who are we talking about here? Name them. And he was like, well, girl, I just talk. No, I need to know who. I mean, I'm about to leave anyway. So who are we talking about?
Who say who?
Who say who?
Went, so you're just a liar. It was like,
really you're lying. I was like, you better take this last bit of moments, because you're about to walk out the door, and you like, Andrew, if I'm going out on your HOH, I'm going to make sure you look like the biggest liar in this game, so everybody can see that you're contradicting yourself, even when you're saying, I haven't talked to these people, but you talked to Pranav and you talked to him all week, but yet he's on the block. And that's not why you put him on the block, but that's the reason you put us on the block. But then that's the reason you put him on. Like, it was very confusing and contradictory. And you were like, I'm going to make sure I call this out so everybody can see how flip-floppy you being in this moment. Tell me your thoughts during this moment, because I ate it up. I lived for it.
Okay, so I don't know who told me, but they said, Kayla, you need to go back in the main chat. They're fighting. I was like, okay. And it took me like literally, I was struggling to get to the main room. I was like, I kept going to the wrong one. So I'm like, wait, I can't figure it out. Hold on. So I said, they're fighting. I was like, okay, they're fighting. I was like, I'm just going to jump in too, whatever. And Pranav said, like, you're a liar. And that's when Andrew said, I just know the people I didn't talk to. And I think that's when Pranav said, we've been talking all week or something. Like, we've been talking. What are you talking about? And that's when I said, so who have you talked to? What is it? Like, which one is it? And now that I know the things that I know, it's obvious that, like, Andrew was trying to do, like, a power move. Like, he was just, like, trying to do a power vacuum. Like, okay, he's probably my biggest target. Let me get him out. But everybody, like, there was a big alliance. So I'm not sure, like, why he didn't tell anybody, like, he was doing that. It's kind of flabbergasting to me. So
Kayla, that was my point exactly watching this episode. I was like, if he's going to try to take this giant move and take out Pranav, which I think on paper, him targeting Pranav in this moment, golden. Like, I loved this move. Unfortunately, he did not have the votes. He needed to secure the votes in order to make sure that it could actually work. And unfortunately for him, it didn't work.
He didn't tell anybody what he was doing, so...
You should go to your alliance and be like, yo, y'all, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. I would love y'all to support me on this because you in the lucky 7, you needed them to vote for you and back you up in what you were doing. Because if they didn't, you got no moves.
I think there were 2 things he could have done to maybe get Pranav out. And I think one of them would be to like tell everyone in his alliance what he was doing beforehand, so they could like actually orchestrate it together and they feel like part of it. Because he didn't tell them in advance, they also feel betrayed when if they knew before. Because I think the only person he told beforehand was Jordan, at least to my knowledge. Maybe he told other people because they're like a final 2. But another thing he could have done is like he should have put up like if he was gonna like betray the alliance or whatever. I feel like if he put Pranav up against like Jeremy and Tanoy,
right,
and like made them decide between each other, then it would have been easier to get him out. But
instead of coming after 2 players that at this point don't have a whole lot of agency in the game, don't really have a whole lot of allies, like it just on paper, it's a great move to take Pranav out before jury starts. But unfortunately, the reality of the situation is he just didn't have that. He thought he had the agency. He thought he had enough agency to make the move work. And like you said, Austin, unfortunately, all of his allies felt betrayed. And I agree. The better move would have been put up all of the, like, all 3 nominees needed to be people from Lucky Sevens. If there was a replacement at that point, put someone else up from Lucky Sevens and make them decide between them. If you're really trying to get rid of this alliance, do that. Pull Kayla and Casey in as numbers and really shift the entire game in a 180. Like,
yeah, so like and if he and I think it would have worked, like their alliance would have got rid of Pranav because they're not the one taking the shot, you know? And they're like, okay, like you'll do this big thing for us, and like we'll like just do like you're the leader now because you took out the other leader. So that's when, and I was just like, okay, I guess we're fighting. So I just jumped in and I just said the things that are on my mind, and that's why I said, like you're putting me up for a reason that's the stupidest reason I've ever heard. Like I said, I'll say it again. I hate the reason, oh, you didn't talk to me.
Yeah.
Because if I put you up and I said, oh, you didn't talk to me, that makes no sense. Because we're playing a game so you can win. So I don't know why you would want to get out an easy player versus a big one.
And
he's saying like, oh, I thought my alliance would figure it out. I was like,
yeah.
You didn't tell anybody what you were doing? And no offense to Jordan, he's very timid. So I'm not really sure like what's going to happen.
I don't think that Andrew had thought out that move much prior to making it. I feel like he was just bored and wanted to spice up the game. So he was like, okay,
I think it's a very
I'm bad
move.
at him right now. I don't think he really thought about like how the votes would fall. He was just like, okay, fuck Pranav, I'm gonna put him up and things will be crazy and we're gonna fight now.
That's what it seemed like, unfortunately, was it just seemed like, oh, I'm gonna put him up because I don't like him. I haven't liked him. Instead of taking and that also has to do with the formatting of Stan Brother. Having this all happen back to back to back, like y'all were talking about, like me even being like, I've played games where I've had to be like on for so long and I deal with light sensitivity. I literally turned my ring light off in the middle of this interview because I've had it on for 3 hours. And I'm like, so all of that compounded into, you know, Casey getting a headache and not really wanting to be in the game anymore. Andrew not really thinking through the move and kind of just like acting on impulse as opposed to really thinking out the move and making sure that if he was going to take a shot at Pranav, it was going to work. Because I do agree, had he put up several people from Lucky Sevens against each other, I think they do take out Pranav because they recognize Pranav is going to be a big threat. But in this scenario, this is why you end up with 7 votes to save Pranav, because everyone was still like, but I know Pranav is a threat. I know Pranav is going to be a threat in the jury. However, unfortunately, I just don't have these relationships with Kayla and Casey in the way that I do with Pranav right now. And I know that Pranav is now going to go after Andrew, which is a shield in front of me.
Exactly.
So it just, none of it really felt 100% thought through, unfortunately, on Andrew's part.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, though, in defense of Andrew and also in defense of, like, anyone in this game whose moves are criticized, I think it's not that clear from watching like the edited version that Austin did, just how extremely fast-paced the game was.
Yeah.
And I think there was really like no time to actually strategize, because we would have the competition, and the second someone won, Austin would be like, okay, who do you nominate?
Yeah.
And there were like, we couldn't then talk to our like he didn't really have time to talk to his allies and give them the full spiel, because there just wasn't really time between competitions. And I think that I think Andrew and I think everyone would have done so much better and made much better moves if we were in an actual game of Big Brother in the house, making relationships with each other, like actually spending time with each other, getting to have individual conversations, really meet new people. Like I think just the format of Stan Brother made it a lot more difficult to really think through all your moves, be strategic, and of course didn't give you the opportunity to make real like bonds with people. I think I would have had such a better social game if I was really living in a house with these people, obviously.
or if it was a more like longer term game where it wasn't over 11 hours, was it, Austin?
11, yeah, probably like
something like that. Yeah,
it was nuts. I honestly, like, I really expected, I didn't know what to expect going into it, but I thought that there would be more like breaks and downtime to really like at least just like message each other and strategize and not have to go right into a competition, right into a ceremony.
There's some games like that, but I think it's because Austin is recorded that like because he'll like you can I just force him to slow down and be like, hold on, wait. And then I'll be like, hold on, wait, and then I'll just wait. But there's some games where like it'll be like they'll have an audience, like you can like people will be in the audience and like you can play and all that stuff. There's a lot of different formats of like Twitter games, I guess. But I think it's the only thing that stopped Andrew from like being great is that he couldn't think through his lie. Like what he said was so bad it didn't make any sense that everybody was like, question mark, like what?
Because there are definitely some players that will thrive in a game kind of like this, where it's a bit more fast-paced, things are going very, very quickly. Lana and I actually produced a game for a long time on Twitter, and I hope it'll come back at some point. But it was a more fast-paced game, but we did make sure to give opportunities, and this is no criticism towards Austin, because I think Stan Brother is run very well.
All criticism towards Austin. I'm just joking.
Exactly.
Hey, I mean, if you want to give the criticism, that's fine. I'm just like, there are so many different types of things, but in the game that we produced, we made sure that there were opportunities for people to go to breakout rooms. We would give at least like 5 to 10 minutes, so that way strategy could ensue, so that way like things could move. Unfortunately, that's just not the nature of the beast that is Stan Brother. And so I agree with you completely, Casey. That's why one of several reasons compounded, and I've told Austin this, and I'm going to tell him again, one of the reasons why I don't know that I would play Stan Brother, nor do I think I would be good at Stan Brother, if I'm being honest, just because I'm not super great with fast-paced games. And like you, Kayla, I have a life outside of Twitter. Like, I'm not on Twitter 24/7 anymore like I used to. Had I played it in the original iterations back in 2020, I think I could have done pretty well. But in this current moment I'm living in my life, I just don't have that time to be back and forth like, oh my God, bestie, absolutely, like bestie, bestie, bestie. Like, I can't do that. And so there are unfortunately just going to be some people that can do that, and props to you, Mama, but there are some people that are just not going to be able to have that level of pre-gaming and have that level of connection to the game prior to actually doing the game. It's just one of those unfortunate things.
And that's the thing though, like with even when I played in 2020, I wasn't that good as Austin. Like I call it like I always get out during the double in like most of the games I played. It's because I don't pregame enough. Like when they're like, who's the easy one that we can get right before jury? It's usually, oh, let's just do Kayla. And it's because like a lot of these people have been playing Big Brother Twitter games forever, but they also play like the Survivor Big Brother games and the like the Sequester and the fucking strategic games, and like they're on Discord and they do the Roblox, and it's just like a lot. And I don't have time to bother people like that. And it's also just like I can be all up in the game, but also I can be very like quiet, like Casey. And in this case, I did like have a math assignment I was due, so I was also very, I was very distracted. So
Yeah.
I felt really bad, and I also have to go to work the next day at like 6 a.m. So I was like, okay, like leaving at
Oh
this
no,
time wasn't like the worst thing.
pre-jury. Oh no.
And I've also got like when I do games and like if I was going to do jury, I would literally text Austin like, "Here's who I want to win."
Oh,
If
And then you
fuck me, and I
well,
just do like a
we've
list.
all
Yeah.
been there. We've all done it. But yeah, so
I'm actually
unfortunately,
shocked for this season. No one did that. They were all still awake at like 3 in the morning.
Negative.
yes,
I was like, this is
Austin,
my vote.
because all of the IRLs and Kayla got taken out, which AKA are the people with actual lives.
Yeah,
No
the
shade to anyone in jury.
online. The chronically online people were all in the jury. That's true.
It was literally
And that's
11
the
chronically
thing.
online people, and that's no shade to any of them. That's just the reality of the situation we ended up with. Where
Yeah,
we
and
do,
I also just don't think I ever had a chance because I didn't know there was
Yeah.
like so much going on in the background. And I really do think Chidori tried to pull me in, but she texted me on Instagram and I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Oh,
Sorry.
but that
I'm not doing that.
and that ultimately is how we end up with a 7-1 to vote, 7-1 vote to save Pranav. I do love that Ben did vote to save Kayla, and I love that June voted to save Casey. I love those because as someone who's gone out on many unanimous votes early in a game, I'm not bitter still, trust me. Maybe still bit. I know how that is, and so I was like, okay, at least they're not going out unanimous. Like I was happy to see that. But that is how we ended up with 4 women going out in the pre-jury, and I don't blame Austin. I blame everyone playing the game.
And it's
But-
crazy because like every time I play a game, I'm like, okay, Women's Alliance, like let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And
I'm always
it's
about
always like boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, why do we do this every time? Even at Real Big Brother, they never stand
Yeah.
a chance. And I do not know why. I was like, I'm a part of the problem, but I don't know why.
I'm always like, if someone, and I've had people come to me be like, I'm so sorry, you're on the block against a woman. I can't vote against a woman. I'm like, I get it. I understand. Like, I can never take that personally because A, these games don't mean much in the grand scheme of the entire universe.
Yeah,
Let's
for
be real.
sure.
But B, it's like, I understand your motives, and it's not that you're against me. It's just that you're for women, because time and time again, as we see, and we, like you said, we see it in Big Brother, we see it in a lot of the actual televised reality games. It's like women do, unfortunately, and I hate that I'm saying this, and it is a reality of our situation, but women do come into a lot of games, if not most games, with a disadvantage, whether it's numbers, whether it's not working together, whether it's, you know, several different factors that ultimately lead to that. It is one of those unfortunate things that we just deal with. And especially, I would say, women of color. Like, that is a very proportionately disrespected group of people when it comes to games, and unfortunately, I would say especially in games on Twitter. So I will say I appreciate Austin for, you know, taking the amount of diversity we got in this cast and having 5 of the 6 women that we do have being women of color. I love it. I'm here for it, and I love Casey too. Let me make that very clear.
I got you.
I know you understand it. I
Yeah.
appreciate you for it, but it's one of those unfortunate things that we are now left with both of you leaving pre-jury. I'm still very excited to see what now happens in the jury phase of this Stan Brothers season. I'm very, very excited. Austin, Bestie, do you have any sneak peeks for us as far as next episode is concerned? Maybe, perhaps?
Yeah, I would just say that you'll definitely see the Lucky Sevens like start turning on each other, and where that may lead us. I will say I think the best episode to look out for, I think episode 5 is like really. Episode 5 is a slay, and I love that you guys really don't know what happens because you weren't there, but episode 5 is really good.
I don't know like anything that happens besides the winner, so I don't know anything that led up to that. And I'm so excited to see.
I will say too, Versus like pre-jury phase, the jury phase has a lot more like close vote counts.
Okay.
Like we're
All right.
talking like 4-3, 3-2,
Okay.
like that kind of thing. So yeah, there's a lot of divisions versus pre-jury for sure.
I love it. I love it. Any final thoughts, Kayla, Casey? Final thoughts on Stan Brother? Final thoughts on the people here? Final thoughts on anything? Anything you want to say? Now is the time to do so.
I will say that one, thank you for having us, and this has been great. And two, I love everyone on the cast, and even with the drama, we're all talking now, like trying to, go hang out with each other, and everyone's the sweetest. And also, thank you, June, for voting to save me. I love you, and I'm rooting for you as a fan. I'm rooting for Rachel. I'm rooting for Pickles, and I can't wait to see how Pickles does without me and who they kind of align with. And I'm so excited to see the rest of the show. And I had a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Her.
It was fun. It reminded me of my actual first time playing Big Brother, Stan Brother, and I did bad as well. And it's like, I was like, oh, this is why I used to like have to play all the games every single night to like get to know these people. But it actually did bring back some memories, and I did make a lot of friends with like
Good.
Big Brother Twitter, so I was fun. It was fun. I liked it.
Kayla, I don't know if I ever told you, but originally the twist that I had for like you being the only returnee was Yasmin was supposed to play, who is like a forgotten person on this cast.
Oh my god, I know Yasmin. See, that's the thing. Like,
yeah,
this new I was like, I don't know any of these.
Yeah, but
I was gonna say that's our generation of Big Brother Twitter because I know Yasmin as well. Like,
yeah. Originally, Yasmin was going to be the 17th house guest, and she was like in a tornado, so she never showed up. She's good though. She's good. She's chilling.
Okay, good.
Her Wi-Fi was just swapping. So yeah, we did have another girly on the cast that was on the same season as Kayla prior, and she just couldn't make it to the Zoom when we were actually filming. And then I also originally on the cast instead of, Gabe was an alternate of this girl named Rachel. But Rachel was an alternate of this girl named Sydney, who was also on Kayla's original season. I don't know if you remember Sydney.
That face is telling me no.
But yeah, originally the twist was that Kayla was going to be with two other women from her original season, like as a triage that we're going to play together.
Okay.
But yeah, they both ended up not making it. But just a fun fact.
You should have still had it. Like, gave me safety till jury or something. Like,
you could have netted Kayla, and I don't think anyone would have been mad at it. Honestly, I don't think any of us would have been upset. But
wait, okay, Logan, who's your winner prediction now?
Oh my goodness. Okay, I still think I'm sticking with Rachel for now. Rachel's someone I think she had a bit of a scare this episode, but she won the veto, so I'm feeling confident in her. I think someone else that is setting themselves up for a very, very good jury run, honestly, is Pickles. I think Pickles is in a great spot right now. I don't think anyone's looking at Pickles, especially now with the Lucky 7 division. I'm really interested to see if Pickles is going to be able to float through. I feel like they talked about it in their pregame interview or pregame whatever video, being like, once I get to jury, I can dominate these competitions and I can just win. I could see it happening for Pickles. I really could. So I'm very excited to see what we are going to have moving forward. But that is where we are going to end today for Stan Brother episode 3. Kayla and Casey, you have both been absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for joining us. You have an open invitation if y'all want to come talk BB26 with us. I'm just saying.
For sure.
And Austin, you too, bestie.
Okay.
Hello. But Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share on the way out. Follow Kayla and Casey, even though Casey's not really on Twitter, but go follow all of them on all the things.
Instagram at
That part.
Casey Fitch. Someone thought my last name was Fish. And the Stan
Sure.
brother. Yeah, it's Fitch. FITCH, like Abercrombie. All right.
We
Y'all
will
heard
be
it
following.
Yeah.
So make sure to follow all the things. Subscribe to all of our channels because we have a lot of podcasting happening on a weekly basis. We do too much, but that tracks for who we are and what we do. So all those links are down in the description below, as well as our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. All of our personal socials are down there as well as a link to get your merch, including but not limited to the cup mug. Fabulous, beautiful, lovely, and wonderful. With that being said, we're gonna get out of here, y'all. Cheers.
Yay, Chipotle time.
Period.